Okay, so this is the way that I get my photos from the Collect app. I've already talked to you about just plugging your phone or your device. I don't think it's available for Android yet, but from your iPhone, just plugging it into your computer, uploading the photos from your camera roll or Dropbox, wherever you saved them, and then they'll go straight into iPhoto, and that's where I'm going to start here. So I needed to get a template to get my photos onto a 4x6 photo, but with two 3x4 photos on one 4x6 canvas. So I know that with my prior experience working with Project Life that the Design A 3x4 photo slots are not a true 3x4 size. They're like 2.88 by another number. And I didn't want to have to bother with going through and figuring out the ratio and editing all my photos further from what I had already done and things like that. So Persnickety Prints, which is the photo printing company that I use all the time if I'm not printing at home, they actually created a template that it allows for that bleed that they need from their printers, and also it already gets the photos down to the size that is needed for the Becky Higgins Project Life Design A 3x4 pockets. So you can go to the Persnickety Prints blog, and I will put a link to this in my personal blog, and it's just a simple download. It comes with this one, which has the square corners, which I use. There's also a rounded corner option. You just download it, save it to someplace that works for you, and then you can go straight into Photoshop Elements, whatever you are wanting to use, and you can go and just open it up. And so then at this point, once I've got my canvas open, I just simply need to navigate down into my iPhoto, and you can see where I've dumped all of my my photos from the Collect app into iPhoto, and I'm just going to select two, and then I just always drag them down into the Photoshop Elements icon, and they open right up. So the next step after this is very, very simple. If you know anything about clipping mask in Photoshop, that's the next step. And for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go into detail of how to do that, but if you don't know anything about it, there are tons of YouTube videos available for clipping mask and other Photoshop editing techniques. So I'm going to go up here, and if you look in your layers palette, you will see the top right, well, there's not really a bottom, but the right yellow block is selected. So at this point, I don't really care which photo goes over there. I'm just going to drag one of my photos up into the template, and then once it loads, I can simply hit Command G, and it will clip it into that area so that I can move it around and manipulate it however I want. And I know that I want a little bit of a border on the top and on the left side over here, but I also know that I don't want it to cut off the bottom. And if you look over here on this side, it's going to be bigger because the template has allowed for the bleed of their printers, just like on this side. So just kind of remember that. What I do is I make sure that this side and this side, the gap is the same. So I've got that one on there. Now I'm going to select this layer and drag my other photo up, and I'm just going to repeat that step by holding down Command G, clipping it in there, and then I can drag my photo over. And again, just pay attention to those gaps. There's going to be a little bit there, and then I just always look at the middle. So this is one of those instances where the journaling didn't fit. So if your journaling fits, just leave it here. But on the photos where they didn't, I just bumped. I went all the way up as much as I needed to, and then, like for this photo, I could do the same thing, and I could just manipulate it over. Now this does cut some of the photo off at the top, but for these two photos it didn't matter, and I wasn't concerned enough to really care at this point. So yeah, so then all you would do is go to Layer, Flatten Image, and then you would, simply go to File, Save As, save it as whatever you need to. What I did was I created a folder on my desktop, and I just had it listed by month. I didn't even go into weeks at this point because the dates were already on them, and I just dumped all those photos into there. So then whenever I went to Persnickety and uploaded, I just had to go to the month and upload that month. So I hope that this has helped you kind of figure out a process for getting your photos from your phone onto a template and then making that template work for you. If you have any questions, you can check out my blog. I'll have some further details, or go to the Persnickety blog and they'll talk more about Bleed and how their template works.